Well. Good morning, everybody. To the morning show of college football, man. It's your boy Coach Dante here with my co-host, Wilder Wire. We got Live Wire Sports. My boy Martin. Our other co-host will be here. Be here, Chris, in a second. Man, we had a good week last week. We had a good week last week. We have about to have another one. We got some big time football games coming up. And Martin, how you doing this morning, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'll probably have to leave y'all in probably about like at 10:30 the most. Probably about 30 minutes or so because I have to step out real quick, but I'm gonna stay on as long as I can until I head out,
All right.
or I might just do it by choice. It don't matter. But anyway, we'll work it out. No problem.
Like that's a bet. That's a bet. So, man, I didn't want to get into it, man. Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
bro.
I gotta get.
It was
Yeah,
painful
it
last
was
week.
painful, man. Your
I, I,
Commanders got beat down by the Bears at that point. Then Mario Cristobal cost you a game by not kneeling the ball. He cost you that game. That was a heartbreaker, man. You lose to North Carolina. Losing North Carolina, man, you had a tough week. Then the Braves get put out of the playoffs, man.
I know. Well,
You had
my last 2 weeks ain't
really
been
tough, yes.
my last 2 weeks ain't been good, man. It
But
has not been good at
I
all.
didn't want to say, Martin, I'm here for you, brother. I got you. I'm here for you. But Martin, tell me what happened, man. What was going through Mario Cristobal head when he didn't kneel the ball? What was going through it? What was your first reaction on that one?
Well, that Georgia Tech game, he actually wanted to get um Cheney 100 yards, and he supposedly had fumble, but the referee called it a fumble, but they didn't even challenge it. I wish you could have challenged it in the college like you do in the NFL, even though they went to the replay booth and look and still call it a fumble. But clearly, video evidence saw that Cheney's elbow was down before he fumbled the ball. So that cost us, and we shouldn't have had to wait till the referees decide the game for us. We should have already had decided that game. That game would have put us undefeated going into North Carolina with pretty good momentum or whatever the case may be. Then on top of that, even if you lost to North Carolina, you would only have one loss. You know what I'm saying? Going down the stretch. So any chances for you to be in part of the ACC title game is that Georgia Tech game is going to come back to get you. And all you had to do is just kneel 26 seconds. And then when you didn't get the ball and you gave it back to Georgia Tech, you didn't even play the right defense. And you gave up a big play after that. So that it's just bad decision. And Mario, he's known to do these little ball head decisions. He does it. He did it in Oregon. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. You can't do stuff like that when you're trying to win and be on top, man. You just can't make dumb plays because Kirby Smart is not going to make a dumb play. Jim Harbaugh, as much as he does stuff, he's not going to make dumb plays. Nick Saban is going to hardly make dumb plays. You got to look at Mike Novell over there. I mean, you got to when you have a team down and you could beat them, man. Stop playing around with these cats. You know what I'm saying? It just it just was disappointing knowing that they should have beat Georgia Tech by more than what they played. You know what I'm saying? It's like they was playing down to their competition.
Yeah, I feel you, man, up on that one. I feel you up on that one. So again, man, had a tough week. So again, we starting off with this week. Jim Harvell is accusing of stealing signs. Stealing signs. What does it mean for Michigan? Jim Harvell was accused of stealing signs.
I mean, to me, I don't think it mean anything. I think it's just that somebody said they think it's got more to do with Jim Harbaugh's contract extension and all the stuff that he's been going through at Michigan. Thinking that he's going to leave or whatever, and this probably ain't the first time that Jim Harbaugh did something like this or with his staff. I mean, you could go back to his 49er days. I mean, they've probably been doing stuff. We already know coaches steal signs. It ain't no big secret. You know what I'm saying? They steal stuff to get the upper hand. But just having one of your staffers getting caught, that just put a bigger target on you. Because guess what? If Michigan make it to the playoff and they win the national title, guess what's going to happen? They're going to look at us cheaters. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Just like the Houston Astros. But the Houston Astros keep moving on. They don't care. They like to be in the villain. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we've seen it with the Patriots, Bill Belichick and all that stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what it is. I ain't getting too much worked up about it. I mean, what you gonna do? If you're gonna fire him, fire it. If you're not gonna fire him, then what you gonna do? Suspend him again? He already was suspended a couple of games early in the season.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So what else are you gonna go do? Because guess what? Jim Harbaugh could leave. He could come back to the NFL if he chooses to. I mean, because guess what? There's gonna be teams having and they're gonna have coaches vacancies. You're gonna look at the Commanders. You're gonna look at the Patriots. You're gonna look at the Chargers. There gonna be three big name destinations that Jim Harbaugh gonna look at, and he gonna say, okay, boom, I could go to one of them. Probably the Chicago Bears too. So
Yep.
there's a lot there. You think Jim Harbaugh is actually worried? No, he goes and play the football game of football. He probably will beat Ohio State again. That's all they really care about. If you
Yep.
beat if you beat Ohio State, what does all of this matter at the end?
Nothing. All that doesn't matter at the end. Like you said, I mean, how many years he beat Ohio State for? Last couple of years, last 2 years, he been
Yeah,
beating Ohio State. So again, like you said, no, all of that won't matter if he beats Ohio State again, and which is Michigan looks nice, man. Michigan looks pretty
yeah.
good. Looks pretty good, pretty much. Um do you think so? Michigan, do you think they actually run the table for these last weeks of the season? Do you actually we can predict they're gonna kind of beat down, Michigan State today. But do you think they run the table?
Well, I predict, or I'll just get my early prediction. I think Penn State is going to knock off Ohio State.
Okay, I
I,
got that too. I got that prediction.
I don't think Ohio State is strong, and I think Michigan is the, the top team over there.
Okay.
I mean, as long as they go in week in and week out and handle business, ain't nobody gonna beat them. I think now that Brock Browse is hurt for Georgia, I don't think they favored to repeat. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, three-peat. You know what I'm saying? They're going for a three-peat, so that's a lot of pressure over there. So I think Michigan is in a prime position to win it. And like I said, if Jim Harbaugh beats Ohio State, gets in the playoff, and he brings them a national championship, what are we going to be talking about at the end of the day?
Hey man, we're not gonna be talking about it too much. We're not gonna be talking about it too much after that. If he beats them, if he go ahead and beats them again, and that will put a detriment into Ryan Day as well. Ryan Day as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
Ryan Day probably will get fired. He might be getting fired because if he lose 3 straight years to Michigan, they Michigan, Ohio State, they kind of like they both the same way. You have to beat your rivalry.
yeah,
They don't care about what you do in the season. It's the rivalry games you got to beat. Michigan, when they was had their issues with Ohio State, they couldn't beat them. And then Jim Harbaugh got there, and he got the players that he wanted. It took him a minute, and he finally got over that hump to beat them because they was talking about firing him too. But then when he finally turned that corner and became a dominant program, boom, look what happened. Now, only thing Jim Harbaugh and Michigan got to do is close the deal, beat
yeah,
Ohio State, and get in the playoffs and see what happens from there. You know what I'm saying? Because all of this is coming out now. They're not gonna do anything to Jim Harbaugh right now. They undefeated. They number two, number one in the polls, whatever. They probably be number one in the BCS. The BCS don't put Georgia number one. But if Michigan continue to roll, they're gonna be the team. To me, I think they're gonna be the team to beat. So that's why I say at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean nothing because they're not going to do nothing to him. They want him to see him finish out. Now, if he falls to Ohio State and get beat down bad in the playoffs, oh
yeah,
yeah, he out of
yeah, yeah.
there. he out of there.
I feel you on that. So we got Penn State, man. Penn State has actually been great this season. They got a game versus Ohio State, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State has not been. It's not really the same team. They got Kyle McCord as they quarterback. Looks
Mm-hmm.
alright. Doesn't look too not too impressive. Nothing impressive about them guys. But is this the best opportunity for Penn State?
This year it is. I don't think they're gonna beat Michigan, but I think they'll beat Ohio State. I mean, Penn State. A lot of people picked them as the TCU of this year. You know what I'm saying? Now I mean, they've been playing pretty good. They got a really good defense. It's going to be about putting points. Ohio State can't really put that much points on because they struggle against Notre Dame, which Notre Dame had them dead to right. So I don't know how they let that happen. I think Penn State could beat them if Penn State plays the game that they need to play. But I think Penn State will lose to Michigan. But unless that they're gonna make some noise. They're gonna be a team that you're gonna have to watch out for down the stretch.
Got you. I think, like I say, I think I got Penn State winning this game against Ohio State this weekend. So I think this is Penn State best chance and best opportunity. I don't know if they play Michigan this year, but I think this is their best opportunity. What team has improved since week one, in your opinion?
Mm, what team has improved? Wow, that's a good one right there. So let me go look at the AP poll real quick. I think Washington has improved a lot. I
Okay.
think they are that scary team over there. We know what all these other teams could do. You know what I'm saying? But just to see them, I mean, you could look at Duke. You know what I'm saying? Duke has been a little bit, even though they lost their quarterback, but they got a tough test today, but they have stayed fast on their mission. They look good. But I could say that Washington has stayed good. They haven't looked shaky. They handle business. They thumped Oregon. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that I picked them to win the Pac-12.
Okay.
So if they like I said, if they finish out, they could be into the college playoffs. So I mean, you can look at Oklahoma. They have gotten a little bit better.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They have gotten better too. There's a lot of criticism with Brett Venables over there. But now he finally got them. I think that's go
Yep.
Chris in the house. Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
What's up,
Chris.
Chris
Got
in the
Chris
house?
What's up?
joining.
What's
What's
up?
good, man? How everything going over there, BC, man? How everything going over there, BC? Tell me it's better over there. Moine ain't had a good 2 weeks at all, man. So
It is. Yeah, I think we won the last two. We got a big one today against Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech. So if we can get that, I believe we can win that game. I mean, Georgia Tech, they lost to Bowling Green. Bowling Green's not a great team. So I think we're better. I think we have a really good defense, and I really believe in our quarterback. So I'm excited for this test.
Well, yeah, as long as y'all kneel down, y'all be all right.
hey, Chris, y'all gonna show them how to beat Georgia Tech, huh? Y'all make sure
Yeah,
how to beat
I
Georgia.
hope so. I mean, that would be awesome. That would give me a lot of hope.
Yeah. So is this Penn State best opportunity today versus Ohio State?
100%. 100%. I mean, Penn State's defense is reloaded. They kept their offensive tackle, who was supposed to be a first round pick. He returned to school. And he's a perfect example of how NIL had an effect on college football. If he came back to school to make more money than he did in the NFL. And so that to me shows how committed Penn State is to football. They just announced a $700 million renovation to their football facilities, and they're going to have a complete overview of the stadium by 2027. So Penn State, their program's on a high as a whole. And I really feel like this is a great opportunity for them to go in and beat Ohio State. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be really close. Both defenses are incredible. The only thing that scares me is Penn State's quarterback, Drew Allen. He hasn't been able to put it all together. I believe this season he doesn't have a completion percentage higher than 57% in any of his games. So that's really, really concerning when you're playing a defense that good. Ohio State sends a ton of pressure. So it's going to be really interesting. But I got Penn State winning this game. My final score prediction would be like 13-7.
Okay, I guess we all gonna pull it for Penn State to win this game. Yo, Key, I got a question for you.
And yeah, Key, don't be doing that to me this
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
It's too early. It's too early to be trolling me. You could do that. Troll me behind the scenes. Please don't do me right now. Because I got a big game today to root for.
Hey, Key, did the Phillies win last night? I didn't see the game last night.
I think they did because they went up 3-2 when I seen it. So
what's good, Vic? Hey, Vic, I'm going for you guys today, man. Me and Hayden gonna be on the call today. So, yeah. So
no, Diamondbacks beat them. It's tied 2-2 now.
I didn't see the game last night.
I know you wasn't, Key. I know.
Yeah, I didn't see the game last night.
I was just messing with you. Yeah, they lost 6-5.
Yeah, I was just trying to get Key going. I ain't gonna get Key going, but she already knows.
she talk about Hush, Dante.
Yeah. So, what's team, Chris, in your mind, in your opinion, improved since week 1?
Man, that's a loaded question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I feel like when you look at a jump from week 1 to now, I look at consistency because I think the most improved team is the most consistent team. You know, you see a lot of teams that are kind of on the brink. They might have one good week, one down week. I'm not going to say Stanford because Stanford had one good half of football. So when you look at the most improved team, I have to go with Michigan. I really do. I think Michigan is the best team in this country. And I know the whole sign stealing thing. I know everything. Another team that really is under the radar is Rutgers. Rutgers has improved. Their quarterback, Gavin Wimsatt, I've seen tremendous improvement in his reads, his down the field accuracy. Everything about him has improved. The defense has gotten better and better every week. So that's one of the under the radar teams that I want to say improved. If you want to give me a team that digressed, I would say Colorado. Obviously,
yeah, that what we get to a disappointing team. Yeah, you say Colorado after losing that 29-point lead versus Stanford. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I think that may be a breaking point for those guys. At that point, I had them winning 7 games, and man, the way their schedule set up to be, it don't seem like they may even get to that point. I mean, if you look at Colorado's schedule, if you go back up here and you look at Colorado's schedule, I think they needed that win badly. They need to finish off that game. Stanford is not a good football team. They're not a good football team at all. And when you're up 29-0, and Coach Prime, and a person like Coach Prime caliber, how could you not finish that game off or win that game? And that just shows you how bad Colorado defense really is too. Colorado defense ain't as good, and we been knew that, but we didn't think they were gonna let a 29-point lead go. I mean that catch that their receiver made, got to give them credit. That was a hell of a catch, man. Catching the ball behind the dude back like that, that's just nothing but the receiver right there making that play right there. But 29-0, you just can't blow something like that. You just cannot lose a game like that.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Dante. That is so true, man. I watch that game, even though I'll be losing serious sleep on these games the last couple of days, boy. Me personally, I feel like there's some undiscipline going on there because it reminds me of Miami 2 years ago when Manny Diaz was there. The guys was undeveloped. I mean, they was in focus. You remember when Miami had played Alabama? We got like annihilated the first game of the season by them. No, the second game of the season by them. The guys wasn't in. That's when Tyler Van Dyke emerged. Because Derek King was the quarterback. The guys wasn't.
Yeah, I remember Derek.
They wasn't disciplined and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, Mario came in, started cleaning the house. We kept a little bit here. Last year, the same thing with Miami. They were still trying to find themselves. That's the same thing with Colorado. He got players there. If the players really buy in and lock in, Colorado could easily win 9 games. They taking themselves out of position.
Yep.
With silly stuff. As much as Deion preach, and my thing is Deion need to check his coaching staff. They just as much as a culprit of Colorado's success and failing as the players. If we could look at the NFL and we talk about the Commanders, same thing. If your coach ain't pushing you hard enough,
Yep.
or he is not calling what he needs to do, you get 17. Like he just put up the 17 flags.
Coach right there.
Undisciplined. You
That's
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They're 29-0. There ain't no way no sorry team like Stanford could still come back and beat you.
They're not an offensive squad. That's the problem.
Exactly. The opening third quarter, you punt the ball, you pin them down inside the 3-line line, and you turn around and give up a 97-yard touchdown pass. Look at here. And then you got one of the cornerbacks was getting burnt all night. Then he yapping at Dion. Guess what he would have been at? In the transfer portal, because I would have sent him home.
Yep.
These are the things. Now, I ain't saying Dion ain't going to be able to turn it around. He is. He's going to get the players he's there. He just got a big recruiter with a quarterback that's going to be there 2025, 6'5". You know what I'm saying? So he's going to get the players. It's going to take time. Like Mario, it's going to take time to weed out all of these bad players because they're only thinking for themselves, and they think all of this. And the NIL is good and it's bad at the same time because these guys get in there and they feel, well, I'm making this much money. I don't have to give all the effort because it's my name and likeness, social media.
100%.
If you really want to get to the next level, like Dion say, you have to love it.
Yep.
You can't just like it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you like it, you're not gonna go any further. So my thing is, that was a big blow to Colorado, but can they recover? I get them a 49 to 51% to recover. I would say 50-50, but I want to see what their mentality is when they come and play Oregon State next week. If they come out in that game fired up, ready to play and manage that win, then I say, okay, they learned something. But if they come out and go back in the same fold, that season's done. They might, because they got to make a bowl. They only 2 games out from a bowl. They had that game on the platter. Look what would have did for them if they had beat USC a few weeks ago.
Yep.
That Oregon loss wouldn't have mean nothing. They would have been what, 6-1?
Yep.
7-1, something like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, so therefore, it's the little things can make you fall off, and it can make you up high.
Yep. So
no. One thing I want to add, I think what you said was perfectly correct. And I watched all of Dion's content. So Dion's son, he has a YouTube channel called Off the Walls Media, and he posts like videos of them, meetings and everything. And he said Shedeur said to Travis, like jokingly, "Oh, you shouldn't be Twitch streaming. You don't post any YouTube videos this week. You should just be in the film room." And that got me thinking, like, yeah, he's right. I mean, if you look at Travis Hunter, he's Twitch streaming every day. He's making a YouTube video with his girlfriend every day. It's like, at some point, you got to let go of all that. Because when you get to the NFL, you don't have time for that type of stuff.
Exactly.
And my concern is it's going to catch up to Travis eventually, and I think we saw it a little bit this game. Now, granted, that touchdown that Eric Ailmeyer, I think the name was, caught over Travis, that wasn't Travis's fault.
That wasn't Travis' fault. That was hell of a
He played the ball really well. He played the ball really well. Maybe he could have turned a little bit, but I thought he made a great play on that. That's just the receiver making a play, like you said. But at the end of the day, I think Travis needs to kind of reflect on himself too and realize, how much do I really love this? And am I trying to become more of a TV star than I am trying to go to the NFL? Because if I'm an NFL scout and I see that, I'm like, do I really want to take a risk on this kid? I don't know.
I agree with you, and wholeheartedly. And to add to your point is that Travis he get his video stream on Bleacher Report as well, because I see him on there as well. And one thing I can say, when you go to the NFL, let me tell you, the first thing you gonna come in there with that, you want to even see the field. Because some of these coaches still old school. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what talent you are. If you out there embarrass yourself and getting burnt, check Emmanuel Forbes. Got burnt from week 1 to week 5. They finally benched him. You got to see the game in real time. Because if you play for Kirby Smart or you play for Nick Saban, you think you would be on the field? So, and like Vic said in the comment, this falls on Dion.
Yeah.
You could preach all day long, but you got to be out there and drilling it. You got to set an example to these guys. And if they leave, don't feel bad that they leave, because you're gonna get people to come in that's gonna buy into your program. You gotta set an example, man. Why Kamani McLean still on the bench when that guy was still getting burned on the field? We saw what Kamani could do when he got his chance against Jerry Rice Jr. or Jerry Rice's son. You know what I'm saying? So put people in there that want the opportunity. I still haven't figured out why Omari Miller is not playing. That was the perfect example to take pressure off of Travis Hunter on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep. Kamani McLean had a great game versus USC, and then you downgrade versus a bad team versus Arizona State and get beat. And one thing, I think I caught this from Dion, and I got this from another source that I know. Kamani McLean was snatched up out of the game because his effort level, and he didn't even like going to film study. He didn't even like going to film study at all. And Dion admitted that on the podium. And when people said why Kamani McLean wasn't playing, and the man Dion just said, "Hey, I need people that want to work, that want to come to film study, that want to come to practice." Kamani McLean didn't even want to come to practice. So you can't have anybody out there that don't want to even show up. They don't show up to film studies. They just want to show up in the game, play the game, and then they don't know what the hell they doing. You don't need that. But again, that falls on his head. That falls on the head coach. I mean, again, 48-43. They were up 29 points. They only scored 14 points throughout the whole rest of that game. And do you? I mean, with this schedule they got coming up, they got to go to UCLA. They got to go to UCLA. They go to they play at home versus Oregon State. They play against Arizona, who can be street, who can be very good at times, because again, they gave USC a hell of a game, and USC has not been the same lately. They gotten dominated by Notre Dame. They go to Washington State. That's going to be tough. And you end your season with Utah. Can you win 2 more games up out of their schedule, Chris? Do you think they can win 2 more games up out of their schedule, like up out of that?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think when beat Arizona, I think they can beat Oregon State. One more thing I wanted to add, though, having is, Coach, I know you coach basketball and football, right? Yep. And you probably see it nowadays. Kids nowadays are so undisciplined and reluctant to do the necessary things to be successful. That concerns me, because with the NIL, I think it's making them even more that way. So college football 5 to 10 years from now, it's going to be in a weird state. So
got you. That's a good point, though, Mr. Chris, right there. So again, we got which is the best one-loss team? Oregon. Which one is the best one? Who is the best one-loss team that you think, Chris? Who is the best one-loss team to you?
Who is the best one-loss team? Man, I gotta give it to my boy Martin, man. Miami, man, they had one blunder. But they're a really, really solid team. And probably actually the best one-loss team. Miami's 2. Number 1 is Oregon. Oregon, the best loss team. Oregon can play for a national championship today. Like, they're that good, and they should be in the college. If they win all their games, they should be in the college football playoff. They're ways ahead of USC. Like, or when I was watching the Oregon-Washington State game or Washington game last week, I'm like, am I watching the national championship? Both of teams are so dominant. It's unbelievable. So,
Martin, you available? All right, so you had to step away for a bit. So, Oregon, that was a hell of a game, man. That was a hell of a game by Oregon and Washington. Washington won the game. Those of y'all don't know, Washington won the game on a missed field goal by Oregon. Felt bad for Bo Nix. Bo Nix played hell of a good, man. They play hell of a good. Troy Franklin is a stud wide receiver, man. He's a stud wide receiver. I thought, man, one thing about Oregon defense improved, man. Oregon got some pretty good defensive players on that side of the ball. Michael Penix continues to be very good in great time situations, led the team down the field. led the team down the field multiple occasions, even though I got a sense that the offense was struggling a little bit in that fourth quarter. But they found a way to win. They found a way to win the game. They found a way to win the game. So you got to give them credit, man. So you got a question for Mr. Vic. Go ahead. Chris. Who the best quarterback in college right now?
Who's the best quarterback in college football? I want to say Shedeur. I really do, because I love Shedeur. I love the way he plays with the weapons he has. But honestly, like, Shedeur is so close. Like, in my opinion, Shedeur is in the Heisman race. If you look at his stats and what he's been able to do. But the best quarterback in college football right now is Michael Penix. Not far and away, but it's his job. Michael Penix, Bo Nix, Shedeur, and then Caleb. Because for me, I look at what you're able to do with the weapons you have. Michael Penix is able to give his receivers a chance to make a play every single time. Like, he's able to fit the ball in tight windows like I've never seen before. So for me, like, I want that guy leading my franchise. I really do. I guess Shedeur, the only issue with him is his decision making. These past couple of weeks have been very questionable, but his completion percentage is still really high. Bo Nix, I love Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix has really improved. The only problem is the reason why I thought Shedeur was top is because he's younger than all these guys and he's performing at that level. When you've been in college football for 5 to 6 years, you almost start to question, like, it's because you've been in there for that long. That's why they're dominating. But I still think those guys deserve their flowers. I would say my final thing with Caleb is that last game against Notre Dame. That concerned me so much. Yep. NFL scouts were there. They left at halftime. He couldn't handle the pressure. He was so careless with the football. That ruined his Heisman hopes, I believe. I think that really, really tanks any chance of him winning the Heisman. So I think right now the Heisman race between Michael, Bo, and Shedeur. Those are the three.
I got Bo Nix. I'm gonna take Bo Nix. I like that Michael Penix, man. I love that one. That's a strong case for Michael Penix. I like that Bo Nix. Sunday, I thought he did outplay Michael Penix by a slight edge, not by a long shot. He did whatever he did. Bo Nix took his team down the field, gave him an opportunity to win the football game, and the kicker missed a 41-yard field goal. But I'm gonna give a slight nose over football to Bo Nix. But Michael Penix is a strong case for the best quarterback right now in college. Martin, who you got? Who you got as the best quarterback in college football right now?
I like Michael Penix. I'm riding with him. I like what he did against Oregon. He put the ball where it needed to be. Bo Nix is a good candidate. Caleb Williams. Everybody still trying to talk him up as the number one guy, but I think Michael Penix is making a statement. And if they went out all the way, I think he'll get it. Because I think Caleb Stark took a hit against
Notre Dame. Yep.
Notre Dame, and I think it's going to take another hit today against Utah.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And then you got Oregon coming up, and it's not going to be fair. But like Chris said, I think Shedeur had a shot if they had kept winning and stopped with all the showboating and all of this stuff. Like Deion said, I did what I did. Y'all ain't me. Y'all can't do what I do. So, but I do like some of the other quarterbacks. But I know something about Michael Penix, man. One thing I watch in college football, the main thing, two things: quarterbacks and wide receivers. I watch these positions. Now I watch everything else too, but his poise is so good. I don't see him, get shaken too much and whatever the case may be. And then his story is so uncanny for, having all the surgeries. Now, I don't know if, he's planning on going to NFL and that translate, him to be, not injury prone. But for right now in college, I'm going to ride with him right now.
Got you. So, here we go. We got, disappointing since week 1. Alabama. Okay. Alabama or Texas? Who has the best path to the college football playoff?
You said who? Texas or who?
Alabama, who has the best path to the college football playoff if they don't lose another game?
Well, I mean, you would say you want to say Texas, um, but I think Oklahoma gonna have something to say. Honestly, Nicholas Saban, man, Nicholas Saban. Ever since that quarterback switch, man, they have, even though they was in hard fought games, they have fought well. They played well. They did things that they needed to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it takes. You know, you make the adjustments, whether your team slows down or not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and everything else. Just a small intricate real quick. They are showing right here on game day. They showing Washington's schedule. They got Arizona State, Stanford, and the big one against USC, then Utah, and then they finish out with Oregon State and Washington State. I mean, from what I see for USC, I mean, I'm me personally, I think Washington is going to be favored in all of them games down the stretch. But no, to back to your question is I'm gonna go with Nick Saban, man, because you know he shows time and time again, no matter what his team look like, they still always gonna be a hard out to beat.
Gotcha, gotcha. Chris, go ahead.
They have a non-conference game today against Houston. That's a great game coming off a bye week to kind of slowly get back into it. Um, they're winning today, by the way, but I think their really only test I would say is BYU or Iowa State. But even Iowa State, like I feel like they're going to destroy Iowa State. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Texas is that much better of a team. So then with those wins, you get to the Big 12 championship. And if they win the Big 12 championship, they're in the college football playoffs, point blank period. Alabama had a little bit of a tough road because they have to play LSU still. They play Tennessee today.
Mm-hmm.
So Texas has a definitely easier road.
Gotcha on that one. So we are winding down the college football Saturday. So we go to A&M. We go to Texas A&M. A&M, the quarterback situation, injuries given Texas A&M out, not moving on from Jimbo Fisher. Go ahead, Chris. What you think about this situation? Will quarterback injuries give A&M and give A&M an out to move on from Jimbo Fisher?
Yeah, one of my boys played at A&M, and I get him every single night about how bad Jimbo is of a coach because I
No.
think that Jimbo is just and like he played for Jimbo, and I'm like telling him, man, Jimbo is not a good coach because Jimbo cannot win the big games. Now injuries, yeah, they hurt. Max Johnson, it gives them the best chance to win football games right now. That's it. Is
Mm-hmm.
he the best quarterback in the SEC? No. Is he a top 10 quarterback in the SEC? I don't even know about that. But it's really concerning me with the talent they have on their roster. They should be winning 10 to 11 games every single year, or at least 9, and they're not doing that. So Jimbo does have to go. If I'm A&M, where do I move on from? That's my next question. You either look at SMU head coach Lastly, I think his name is. You go and try to talk to Dion, right? That might sound crazy, but money talks, man. Money talks at the end of the day. And then you go to Oregon and look at Dan Lanning. There's a ton of great candidates that I think would definitely highly consider the A&M coaching job. One name I saw floating around was Art Briles. Art Briles was the head coach of Baylor, but like I don't think he's ever coaching football at that level again.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to me. There's a lot of great candidates out there, but I think it's time for them to move on from Jimbo. I really do.
Go ahead, Martin.
Who, man, since Jimbo days at Florida State, man, it just never looked good. And this is one of the things I always say. Coaching in the SEC is not like coaching in the ACC.
Yep.
You want to go there and get these big teams, and you got to understand dealing in that conference every year. You know what I'm saying? It's a road sled, and this is why I keep telling people Yeah, conference realignment plays a big factor. But if Florida State, Clemson go in there, yeah, Florida State might probably because of what they're at now. But Clemson, you got to be on your game week in and week out. Ain't just where you got to play a Syracuse. Ain't where you got to play a Wake Forest. You gonna play some teams that's a little bit better than them. You know what I'm saying? And Jimbo finding it out hard. He hasn't really showed. And I mean, they did give him that big extension, but we know college football. If you ain't winning, then they ain't gonna have no use for you. And so me personally, I think that once Jimbo is out of there, they could reset button and everything like that.
Okay. Got you on that one. Vic, you got a question down here. Been active in the chat. Will Alabama ever be what it is before? Go ahead, Chris.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
NIL, Nick Saban hasn't caught up with times. He's way behind. He's not able to connect with the new younger generation, like we spoke about earlier. I believe coaches like Dion, coaches like Dan Lanning, younger coaches are going to be the next era of college football. Watch. The older guys are going to start struggling. You're going to watch it. So I feel like if he's able to get an NIL director, get someone in there that's able to connect with the younger generation. But honestly, if I'm a recruit, I'll say this over and over again. I'd rather go play for Dion than Nick Saban right
Got you. So we go to the very next topic. Ooh, so I guess what you call it cut out. So we got the what is the best surprise so far? Yeah, the rise and fall of Colorado A&M continues to pretty much be in disarray, and we got Oklahoma dominance. Not surprised about Dion the rise in the fall. Everybody kind of knew it was going to be some problems there, a little bit problems there. They're going to have a hard time. Everybody kind of knew that. Not surprised about that. Uh, Oklahoma dominance. Not surprised about that because they Big 12. Big 12 is them in Texas alone. Not surprised about how good they have been. But A&M continues to be piss poor of a program with Coach Jimbo Fisher. I think that's a problem. All the 5-star recruits, Jimbo Fisher pulled. And I mean, I think it was one point he had the best recruiting class out there, and you still can't win football games. That becomes a problem. You get one of the top quarterbacks coming out of high school in Connor Wickman. You have Hayes King and all of them. I
All
believe
right.
at one point that A&M had the top recruiting class, and you still can't win. You still can't win games.
Yeah,
So,
just a little, please.
Martin, which is the best surprise so far? The rise and fall of Colorado. A&M continues to be bad, and Oklahoma dominance.
I think Oklahoma dominance is one because Brent Venables is in his second year, so therefore he's putting that program where it needs to be. Because when they do move to the SEC, he's going to have a powerhouse of team, and he's going to make sure they're going to be competitive. So therefore, Brett Venables is already ahead of the curve than a lot of these coaches so far, and he's already ahead of the year. You think about it. Jimbo been over there. How long Jimbo been in the SEC? About 3 or 4 years, something like that.
4 years, about 4 years.
Yeah, and he has not did anything. Yeah, like Chris said, they can't win the big game. Just like Lane Kiffin can't win the big game, but you pay him all this money to recruit and do all of this stuff. You should have lost to Miami last year. You lost them this year. Um, and then you look at Colorado. I think they're gonna get better. Um, I think they was riding that high from that TCU game, the first game of the season, and everybody jumped on the bandwagon. I just felt like they had a team that just, even though they got some deficiencies on both sides of the ball, I still think they was. For the speed limit. could have been competitive. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be very interesting next week to see what they do against Oregon State. If they lose that game, it's going to, I don't know, it's going to be a very interesting rest of the season because then they might not even make a bowl. They have to win this next game coming in.
Definitely got you on that part. So we about to head into our picks and prediction of the games. About to head into our picks and predictions. Vic chatted and said Oklahoma is the most improved team in college football, especially their defensive side of the ball. Yeah, man, you gotta give them credit, man. Oklahoma is really really good, man. They've been the best surprise team so far. But what shocked me is A&M get all these 5-star recruits and can't win football games and barely can even make a bowl game. I believe it was one point they had probably the top, recruiting class. I believe they had the top recruiting class, and you still can't win football games, and that's unacceptable from a coach, like Jimbo Fisher. That will not be accepted. And again, you got to win football games if you pulling all these 5 stars and these top recruits and stuff like that. You got to be able to win. You got to be able to win football games. That's actually unacceptable for you to not to win a lot of these football games. So I'm going on our picks and prediction before we get up out of here. Pretty much, we're gonna go to our picks and predictions. So we're gonna start with we're gonna go to the big games this week. So Penn State Penn State versus Ohio State at the shoe. Martin, who you going with?
Well, as we discussed earlier in the show, I'm going with Penn State. I think the defense is going to be the catalyst for them. I think longest, because the focus is Marvin Harrison Jr. over there on Ohio State, but I think at the same time the others for Ohio State have to step up, and I don't think they have skated. They have skated out of losses, and I think this one game is going to catch them. So I'm giving. I think it's going to be in a. This game could be in the 20s. It could be like 23-20 on Penn State.
Got you. I got Penn State winning this game against Ohio State. Not really that impressed with Cobb McCord as a quarterback. I think Penn
Mm-hmm.
State, with Singleton and them, I think they control time of possession, and I think they go ahead and in Ohio State and get a win and a close performance. So
Yeah.
uh, Ohio, I got Penn State winning this game. So we got UCF going into Norman, Oklahoma, 3-3. Oklahoma coming off a win versus my Longhorns. In Norman, who you got?
You are over the speed limit. You said who?
UCF in Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm going with Oklahoma, man. That defense is, like I said, Brett Venables got that defense riding high, and I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be as close. Now, UCF do play pretty tough, but I'm going with Oklahoma. I just think they on a mission for that Big 12 shot. And we talk about Texas trying to make it to the college playoff. Well, Oklahoma might end up being in there.
Yep. Oklahoma got Oklahoma again with you. Um, Air Force versus the Navy. Air Force ranked number 22 in the country, 6-0. They going to the
Ooh,
Navy. Who you got?
man. Well, these military academy schools is pretty tough, but Air Force, I don't know for some reason out of all of them schools, I like Air Force better. I know, so I'm gonna go with Air Force to stay undefeated.
Gotcha. I'm taking Air Force as well. My boy Cool McCain said he rolling with the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Cool.
Them Nittany Lions right there. Them Nittany Lions. Big said this is going to be the biggest game of Drew Aller's career. If he could win this game, Penn State will be set to on a national championship pad. Facts. Up on that one. Uh, you got Washington State won Oregon.
Ooh, well, I don't think Oregon is gonna lose back to back games because they was in a pretty good shootout with Washington, and Washington was just a little bit better than them. And with that being said, I think Oregon gonna come out with a nasty taste in their mouth, and they're gonna take this victory.
Got you on that one. I'm going for Oregon as well. Oregon gonna come in, like you said, pretty fired up, pretty upset about the loss versus Washington, and they're gonna come in. They may smack Washington in the mouth for a little bit. So we got. So we got Tennessee 5-1, ranked number 17th in the country, going up against Alabama, who's 6-1 in Alabama. Who you got, Martin?
Well, last year was in Tennessee. Tennessee won, but they don't have a Jalen Hyatt. And I would ride with Tennessee. Now, Tennessee defense has been playing pretty good, so this could be a sneaky game. But I'm not going. I have went against Alabama for the last 2 weeks and have not fared well, so I'm picking them this week.
Yeah, I did. I went against them versus Ole Miss. And they found a way to win that game. Like I say, I'm going to take Alabama. I'm not a big Joe Milton fan. Tell everybody that right now. I'm not a fan of Joe Milton. So I'm going to take Alabama. They figure out the quarterback situation, even though Jalen Miro is still a little bit more suspect. But Alabama is pretty good on the defensive side. You said, "Oh my God, don't do it." Cool McCain said, "Martin." He said, "Martin, the boys let us down again." Hey, Martin.
I know, cool. I know they did, but I got a feeling about tonight's game. So therefore, I need you. I need you around. I might have to do I can't even call it in my head now. A post game. We win. So they let us down. I was there, at the game Saturday. I was there, but Mario Doom and that coaching staff, and if Tyler's injured, they need to start Emory Williams and allow Ja'Cory Brown to come in for some special packages. Because the thing about it is Clemson, and it's not Clemson, and we gotta get this game against them today if we're going to be able to still have a pretty good season.
I wouldn't be surprised, man, if Tennessee win in Alabama. I'm just not a big Joe Milton fan. I just think that's what it comes down to. Just not a big Joe Milton fan. Joe Milton had opportunities. Michigan couldn't get it done over there. So he wet the bed versus Florida. Couldn't get it done right there. Just can't be a big fan of Joe Milton at this point. But now it wouldn't shock me if they won the game. If they won that game, they got some pretty solid receivers over there. So we go to Missouri coming off a tough loss versus LSU. They got 2-4 South Carolina. Martin, who you got?
Oh, Missouri. South Carolina has not been playing, or when they do play well, they still find a way to lose the game. So I think that Missouri is going to beat them. It might be interesting in the first half, but South Carolina ain't going to do nothing.
Gotcha. I'm taking Missouri up on this one too. I thought South Carolina was a really good football team, but I guess they're coming to light at this point. So you got North Texas versus Tulane.
North Texas versus Tulane.
Yeah,
I gotta ride the wave, man.
There you go. You run the Green Wade, huh?
Yeah, I gotta ride the wave with Tulane, man. They're a pretty good team.
You're a pretty good team, man. Got you. Still got Prack on that squad. We got to go with the Green Wade, man. The Green Wade is what it is. He said Spencer Rattler is trash. Yep, he turned it in. Cool McCain said he's going for the upset. He said he's taking South Carolina. He said he's taking
cool with the big bold prediction.
Okay, Cool McCain. All right, so we got Minnesota going into Iowa.
Minnesota going to Iowa, man. Big Ten matchup. I kind of like this one, but I'm going with Iowa with it. Minnesota. They not who. I guess I sound like Denny Green right now. They're not who I thought they would have been at the start of the season. So I'm going with them our Hawkeyes.
Got you. So we got my Longhorns going to Houston, coming off a loss versus Oklahoma. Who you going with?
Uh, I'm going with Texas. I'm going with Texas on this. I think they bounce back. You know that Red River rivalry. You know, it's one of them games that you have to really tip your hat to them because they did play good, both teams. But I think Texas will get that.
Got you. I got Texas too. But again, this is the game they will find a way to lose. They will find a way to lose a game like this. But I'll take Texas. So we got 1-5 Virginia, one into North Carolina, who's 6-0 and ranked number 10 in the nation.
Um, actually, I'm going with North Carolina.
Okay.
I think that at the end of the day, North Carolina has they proved themselves, man. They're definitely a good team. What Miami have shown on defense in the first half last week, they have shown on defense in the first half of the game. If teams take that and apply it to you can slow them down. But now that they got Tez Walker back, it's going to be kind of difficult because they up tempo is really crazy, especially when they feel like they in trouble. They up tempo so fast, and you don't have a chance to change your personnel, and that's how they beat Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Miami had control. Miami had control. Miami had control of the first half, but then they didn't adjust to the second half, and then North Carolina just kept going. And once they wore them down, the game was pretty much out of hand. Even though Miami scored the last two touchdowns to make the score look presentable, but that's what it is. But North Carolina will win this game.
I got you. Got you on that one. I'm going for North Carolina too. So you got number 13th ranked Ole Miss, one to Auburn. Who you picking?
Mm, this could be a little sticky one because I something telling me to pick Ole Miss. Um, but Auburn, you know, they have played pretty well themselves. Auburn has played pretty well itself, but I'm gonna give the edge to Lane Kiffin. I don't know why, but I'm gonna give it an edge to him.
You got it. You got that one right there. So you got Michigan, who's coming in as a 27-point favorite over Michigan State. The only thing I'm gonna ask you, will they cover that spread?
I I looked at that right, and I was gonna do my parlay yesterday on it, and I stayed away from it, man, because that's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's why
But
I'm scared.
because I mean, if they had say 21 or 17, I say yeah. Now Michigan always play tough, but um, these is one of these games. Michigan, you know, they'll start out the gate slow. They'll start out the gate slow for a quarter and quarter and a half, and then they'll start picking it up throughout the game. So don't be surprised that Michigan starts slow and they don't get the points that they're looking for and say that, hey, they might win by 10, 17 points. So I give Michigan a win, but I don't think they're going to cover that 27.
Got you on that one. I stayed away from that game too. I did stay away from that game too. I wanted to pick it because I wanted to pick it, but that 27 just got me. It's just too much. So you almost at the finish line right here. We got Duke, Florida State, number 16 Duke, on to Florida State. Who you picking?
Man, man, Duke, I ain't gonna lie. Duke is unpredictable. They got a good defense. They ain't playing good. They're not gonna be an easy task to beat. And I do say Florida State will win this game, but I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be as close. Now, if if Duke beats them, I mean, make me happy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. I think Florida State will edge them out. Because Florida State played Clemson tough. I mean, Clemson played Florida State tough and they edged them out. I think Duke gonna do the same thing. Now, if Duke beats them today, that's gonna be that Clemson win. It will be this one will be even greater than that. So where would that put Clemson in the top 25? I mean, not Clemson, but Duke in the top 25 if they beat Florida State. But like I say, I'm gonna give the edge to Florida State just because they're a little bit more dominant.
Got you. So, we got LSU. We got Army versus LSU.
Oh man, LSU man, I ain't gonna even waste no time on that. That's LSU all day.
Right. So we got one of the biggest games on the schedule: Utah versus USC.
Oh, we talked about this early in the show.
Yep.
Utah got a defense, man. They don't beat them
Yep.
3 straight times, going for 4. So, and I don't think Caleb Williams shook off that beating from last week. And you know already that Utah already had a number, so you know Utah already watched a lot of film. What Notre Dame done? They already gonna come prepared. They probably going. You already know USC don't have a defense, so even Oregon, even though Oregon don't have Cam Rising, but they're gonna be able to put up points. So that's gonna be the deciding factor. A team that don't have a defense, you
Yep.
gave up 41 points to a Colorado team that really just have freshmen all over the board, and you think you're gonna play what is this game in Utah, right?
Nah, it's in USC. It's at SC.
It don't matter. I'm going with Utah. Utah gonna dominate this game, man.
I got Utah in this game as well. So the very next game, the next and last game, we got Arizona going to Washington. Now Arizona, my bad. Now Washington is a 27-point favorite. Well, I know they're going to win the game because they're in Washington. Will they cover that spread against
What's the spread?
27? 27.
Yeah, they'll
Okay,
cover that.
I got
Arizona State bad because Colorado was what? Colorado put up what 30 on them.
you.
There you go.
Got you. All right. The last game of the prediction, we got UCLA going to Stanford. UCLA going to Stanford.
Man, this funny. With Stanford winning that game, I and UCLA. I mean, UCLA has not really been. They've been all right. They has not been like a dominant team. They are all right. But I mean, they should have no problem with Stanford. But now after what they seen, what Stanford did to Colorado, I won't even go in there taking them lightly. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Because guess what? They could get hot, and you ain't gonna be able to stop them. So Stanford get better handle business. So, I mean, not Stanford, but UCLA better handle business. So I'm taking them in a close game.
Got you. Got you. I'm taking them also in a close game. So that concludes the morning show for this morning. Martin, tell the people where they can follow you at.
Well, guys, you already know you can find me here Saturday mornings on a Saturday football showdown. We always talk college football with Chris, myself, and Dante. And check us out. We will be doing a basketball show this year. So check that out. And you can always find me on Livewire Sports Media on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram, and also on Facebook.
Yep, definitely. Y'all know where y'all can find me at. No introduction for me, man. So that's for my boy Chris. That was a part of the show. Coach Dante Martin. Man, y'all have a good rest of your college Saturday, man. Appreciate y'all for showing up. And hey, we'll see y'all next Saturday.